Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Play Action Podcast, episode number 53. My beard's a little growing out. It's No Shave November. I might just shave it all off after. But as always, I'm Will. We got Colton here. Colton, how's it going?
You know, man, I can't complain. Just got my hair cut and the beard trimmed up a little bit, so I'm feeling good.
Feeling a fresh fade?
Feeling fresh. No, but I'm good, man. Just had the past weekend in the Berg. I mean, it was a good time as always, but didn't expect to witness the tie this whole weekend. Once we get no, you got to talk about it now. No.
Let Colton go on us right now. Let him get it all out.
So it was just God, we're at Permani's. That's what Pittsburgh's known for, is a Permani sandwich, that, and the other. And we're sitting there at dinner. I got my beer. The food took 8 years to come out, so I was already.
What beer did you get? Okay, we have to have a very gentlemanish conversation.
Icy Light. You know what I'm having, Will? Pittsburgh Icy Light. But I'm sitting here, I have my beer, and the food's taking forever. So I'm already pissed off a little bit. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What's going on here? And I'm looking at my phone, and I'm like, jaw drop, everything, and find out Ben's out with COVID. Saturday night, it's not even like it was game day or like a few days before to, give myself the readiness. Like, all right, he's not going to play. No. So my night was already pissed, and it got even worse. And you saw Sunday's result, no W. And if Ben played, they win. So it's very head scratching. They didn't lose, but they didn't win. So it's like, you're not pissed that they didn't lose, but you're not happy because they didn't win. So, and both teams deserved the tie. Well, it was really weird, but it was great to be back in Pittsburgh. Met up with a bunch of guys from Steeler Nation. But enough about me, Will. You know the deal.
I know the deal. Yeah, I was in Maryland. He was in Pittsburgh. We went on our separate ways, said goodbye to Dirty Jersey for the weekend. We went on our different ways, had some fun, met up with friends. It was a very great weekend all around. But ladies and gentlemen, let me get the mouse all ready here, because I'm all over the place. I got pens all over the place. If you're watching, drop a comment. We're going to be talking a lot of stuff today. NFC, who's really the best team in the NFC, because it's just a disaster. We might talk some AFC wildcard too, because that's a very tight race, to say the least, as well. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and this is the Play Action Podcast.
This is the Play Action Podcast, featuring Will.
In the past 150 days, you didn't ever decide to sit down in your damn desk and be like, hey, let's game plan this playbook. Pardon my French, but goddamn, you are an idiot, Matt Nagy.
Featuring Colton.
Good job, Bill. Golly. What a dope. You missed Brady. You made a mistake. Come out and say you messed up. Golly.
Ever since you said that, he's been on a streak. I got to bring back the Joe Allen and the Bills one. I got to bring that one back.
See, we might need to make a new intro so I don't look awful. But yeah, those Patriots, man, that's something we got to get into. Not something I expected, but my goodness, very underrated is Mac Jones. I was watching some of those throws this weekend, and I'm like, oh God, they might have a new guy to lead that offense like Tom Brady did, just putting the ball where he's supposed to. That's what's crazy with Josh McDaniels. The offense isn't crazy. There's nothing, like, I know they have their trick plays and they always throw them and burn teams with it. But my goodness, it's nothing like a crazy, other than the trick plays, it's a very like simple offense. It's nothing like crazy where you got a lot of motion, this, that, and the other, and the toss plays in front of the quarterback. Like nothing crazy where it's like, oh, new offense. No, it's just they need a certain guy to run it. Guy that can hit his spots consistently. And that's Mac Jones, man. It's kind of crazy what the Patriots are doing, to be honest with you.
This weekend was crazy, to say the least. There was a lot of just everything. Cam Newton's return was electric. The Bills just blowing out the Jets as usual. I'm just having fun writing my headlines, kind of grilling the Jets in them as I was going through. Even though one of my headlines was misspelled on the NFL mobile app. So I was like, oh, and I posted on my LinkedIn profile too. I was like, that's enough about us. But let's kind of get into the news here. So the NFL has come out and said they are league-wide, they are heightening COVID-19 protocols with Thanksgiving coming up in the United States, wherever you're celebrating. I think Thanksgiving was last month in Canada. So wherever you're thankful for, we'll have a good, nice episode next week about thankfulness and just Thanksgiving stuff. Make it all fun, this and that. But due to these new protocols, they are making mask mandates for everyone from November 25th to December 1st, no matter a vaccination status. You have to wear them all around. I think they might honestly wear them for the games as well for the weekend because they do not want to have a spread, kind of like the Ottawa Senators. That's the first team since the whole new league year, if you want to say that, for all the sports. They canceled the next 3 games, and it's affecting my fantasy hockey lineup there. And they're also heightening testing protocols as well for the Monday after Thanksgiving and Wednesday, as it was usually just a once-a-week type deal. Is this kind of a smart thing to do? I mean, they want to kind of protect as much as they can for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to see some of the COVID stuff. Minka Fitzpatrick, Big Ben, Tillery
Joey
from the
Bosa.
Chargers. Joey Bosa is negative. He's
a close contact, but since he's not vaccinated, they made it a bigger deal than it has to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's crazy. He could play Sunday. I mean, I hope he doesn't because I just don't feel like dealing with Joey Bosa with, some young guys on the line. Not really feeling like dealing with that, but it'd be good to have him on the field because it's Joey Bosa. But yeah, you're just getting a lot more COVID. I mean, you're just getting over the Aaron Rodgers stuff a few weeks back. Holidays coming up. A lot of guys gonna be seeing family and all that. So, why risk, exposing and possibly having a bunch of star players out when you got the crunch time of the season coming forward as teams are starting to make their mark in more ways than one.
I mean, this is going to be, something that we're going to be talking about next, couple weeks. Let's see the kind of like the breakthrough. They don't want to have another situation where the Ravens and the Steelers are supposed to play on Thanksgiving night and they have to delay the game from Thanksgiving all the way till the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, and just kind of made a schedule disaster. Basically the nicest way you could put it, but that's a whole situation there. There's a nice topic I do want to talk about. And if you follow Tom Pelissero over on Twitter, he always posts these things about the next generation of coaching. He kind of puts out this list, and there's a nice chunk of people on here. So if you guys want to get active here in the comments, we would love to talk and see what you guys are feeling right now. So he writes up this list every year of coordinators or maybe, like assistant head coaches that he could see going into the next generation. This list is typically a 45 years and younger. So we kind of get a nice, view of everything. Obviously, one name he has to put up on the top there, Joe Brady, the Panthers offensive coordinator at age 32. Despite having the bottom 2/3 of the league in offense, he got 5 interviews last year, all with the Texans, Chargers, Falcons, Jets, and Eagles. I believe that was, it's 5 of the 6 openings or 5 of the 7 openings that there were last year. Could we see him potentially? He's going to get more interviews because he's just a very bright offensive-minded guy, and he can probably jumpstart a lot of offenses in this league.
Yeah, the NFL is going in an offensive way. We've known this. You're seeing what Arizona is for a guy like Kingsbury, who didn't have really much success at Texas Tech, having a legit team in the Cardinals. A lot of people don't think it's him, but again, like you just said, Joe Brady had a lot of interviews. He's probably going to land himself somewhere. It's you.
That's not probably the most impressive name on that list. I think there could be some more other names.
These comments just, oh gosh. Yeah. Well, I would love to talk soccer with you. If you want to talk soccer, you can definitely message me. We'll talk soccer privately. But I mean, that is technically football. But we're talking American football. But yeah, there's just a lot of guys. In Lincoln Riley is another one that was on this list, and we've seen
Lincoln Riley, Matt Campbell. Some college guys.
We saw Lincoln Riley linked with Dallas. Jerry Jones wanted him. Yada yada yada. That'd be kind of interesting to see. I mean, Dallas specific would be really interesting because, no offense, Mike McCarthy's not, pop and flash and interesting, where Lincoln Riley coming in would be, holy crap, this could be really interesting. Kellen Moore, guy who is the OC there in Dallas, is another name on that list. He's a guy who's gotten more and more control on that offense, and you're starting to see it pop. Again, it helps having Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Cooper,
And
Gallup.
now a competent defense too.
Yeah,
That's
it makes it a lot easier
helping
for
it.
his job. So we'll see in the next few years. It's definitely interesting to check this list out and see what guys could be the future of the NFL. There's some teams that do need coaches, and it's an offensive driven league, so it's kind of interesting. I know Bieniemy is not really young, but he's another guy who's been talked about the past 3 years.
At
Forget
least, well, ever since Mahomes
Yeah.
blew up, that's really when he started.
Yeah.
Another name too, Packers offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, who did interview for the Falcons, and Aaron Rodgers has praised him, and he's very beloved in Lambeau. So if you got Aaron Rodgers back, who's going to be in the Hall of Fame whenever he decides to hang up the boots, you got a lot going for you. I have to admit there. And then they also have Chiefs quarterback and passing game coordinator Mike Kafka, who a lot of us have not heard his name in a very, very long time. I didn't even know he was on the Chiefs until this very moment. That's how much I know. But also another good one too, Patriots legend Gerard Mayo, another name that was included on this list. He interviewed for the Eagles last year, and they really liked his traits and all that, but they ended up going with the guy from Indianapolis instead, drawing a blank on his name. He could be another guy too. Gerard Mayo's only 35. He walked away from the game. It felt like ages ago, like 6 years ago. It felt like he walked away, and he's still doing it. As your man Jake Funk's just going all off in the comments on Twitter here.
Oh God, Joe. See, I'm trying to share this on our Facebook and everything. It's God, Joe. Please, Joe, I would love to get you because you do love your football, Joe. I seriously would love to get your questions, not Jake Funk related. If he touches the field consistently, I would love to talk Jake Funk. We'll love to get into the funk. But my goodness, Joe, please, for the love of goodness. But yeah, there's a lot of young coaches.
There is a lot of young coaches.
See what these guys do when they get their opportunities, because that's when it comes down to when they get their opportunities and where. To be honest with you,
another couple names too. Rams offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell, who he has really jump fired this offense for the Rams, but that also includes the helping of Matthew Stafford and just the absolute blowing up of Cooper Kupp, who's having a monstrous season. I think he's only going to continue after the bye week. Although their first step in the way is the Green Bay Packers, so it might wait a week before that. And also 49ers defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans, another good name on there. And it kind of goes on and on. Like, I will honestly drop this link somewhere, but it's a very good read if you want to read a lot of these names, a lot of people that you can look at and just view moving forward. And I think that might be it for that. But we want to go into this kind of debate debacle because we've been going back and forth on who do we see for the NFC, because the NFC is a very contestedly tight race. Who could honestly win this? Let me pull up this good old chart here. The NFC playoff picture right now, we'll talk about the AFC too, because the wild card is, between 2 and 7, it's a half a game really all apart. But 1 through 7, we got the Packers, we got the Cardinals, Cowboys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Rams, New Orleans, and Carolina. Who really is the dominant team? Cardinals have been without Kyler Murray and D-Hop for the last 2 weeks. The Panthers kind of put them all out. Cam Newton looked like he's regained his form on 2 touchdown plays to open up the game against Arizona. Dallas is looking successful against the Atlanta Falcons, who at one point last week were in the wild card race. And then the Rams kind of fell apart, but I kind of called that last week. Kyle Shanahan has McVay's number for the last 2 seasons. Nice 5-0 on that. Who really is the most dominant team in the NFC? It's really tight right now.
I still think it's the Buccaneers. It sounds really stupid because they have been struggling a lot lately, and specifically the offense hasn't been producing the way they're supposed to be. But that is without 2 huge pieces, and it's not the big names like Godwin and Evans. It's Gronk and AB, and when those guys come back, and it sounds like they're right around the corner, especially Antonio Brown. You might see him. I think
Antonio Brown's still in that walking boot. I think he still is. As of last week, I know he was.
Yeah, last week.
Well, my fantasy team needs it, so
yeah. Well, I got him in a trade, so I also hear you on that. If you also have fantasy questions, drop them below. We'll definitely get to them.
Yeah, we'll
as
have Colton's fantasy rant coming up very shortly.
Gosh, see. But yeah, I think it's still the Bucks and the Rams, honestly. I do love Dallas. You go back to when Dallas started figuring it out week 2 and 3 where they were playing good football. I fell in love with them. I love Dallas still. In Green Bay, I just wish they got another receiver, man. I do. And the defense is legit. But I still think the Rams and the Bucks are those teams. But at the same time, the number 1 seed's huge. And no one wants to go to Lambeau in the freezing cold.
No, I wouldn't want to do that.
As much as I love the Rams and the Bucks, the division's is pretty easy for the Packers, to be honest with you. I know they still have some tough games down the stretch, and if they had Rodgers, they beat Kansas City, and they're in a better situation for the 1 seed. But my goodness, their division isn't that difficult. I think Green Bay, I'm going to change my take. Green Bay is the team to beat. I know it's very easy because they're the number 1 seed, but that defense, man, oh my goodness. And you know what you're going to get from Rodgers. Like, I know he struggled this past week, and so did Russ. Both those guys coming back, I expect him to get better, and he will. But yeah, Green Bay, as much as I do love the Bucks and the Rams, because they will figure it out. Robert Woods is a huge injury, but Odell Beckham, the way they got him involved early was huge. And he didn't know the playbook. So wait till he starts learning the playbook and all that stuff. I think the Rams will be just fine. But for now, I'm going to take the team that probably is the number 1 seed going into the whole thing, to the dance, and I'm going to take the Packers.
I want to take the Packers too, but I want to be a little bit different. I mean, I still think Tampa Bay's not a good team to play. Well, I mean, Bruce Arians ripped the whole Tampa Bay team a new one last week, saying they were a dumb football team, losing to the Washington football team. But Washington had their number last week, and they did suffer an injury to Richard Sherman, I think, in the pregame. So they were down a corner very early, and they couldn't get a replacement in time. I still could fear the Rams, but if they have to face Kyle Shanahan, that's going to be very difficult for them. Honestly, any of these teams are very good, but I might honestly have to match with you on this one. The Green Bay Packers. I'm not sold on the Arizona defense, and I still haven't been the entire year. I still think they are lacking secondary, and that's kind of like the big issue. If the pass rush doesn't get there, I don't really think the secondary can cover it. Who is it? Murphy Jr., number 7 on the Cardinals. He's been playing lights out, and this is also when they signed Malcolm Butler too, and he kind of left the team. He said he's has to think of everything, so he's been on the retirement list for a little while now. Honestly, top number 1, I'll take the Packers, and probably a close second. Close, maybe 10% less. I would honestly take the Arizona Cardinals in that one.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals should have bolstered up their pass rush with losing J.J. Watt, and they didn't do that. So that's what makes it a little more.
But I think it might think they could get J.J. Watt back. I think that's what they could think. But
yeah, but
I don't know the extent of because he apparently was playing with a dislocated shoulder, a torn rotator cuff, a pec injury. He had 10 injuries upon all this stuff after it came out.
Yeah, I don't like the waiting game, though. It's like the Titans. Everyone's like, oh, the Titans. Oh, they're going to get Henry back down the stretch. What? Relax. Their offense still is not getting all the kinks out. Julio's out. Shocker again. They don't have a number 2 receiver. A.J. Brown's kind of starting to figure it out again. So, why are we playing the waiting game? I hate the, oh, yeah, he should be back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Ben should be back in 8 weeks. Stop the waiting game. It's so stupid. The Cardinals should have went out and made some moves. Got another pass rusher, especially with Melvin Ingram sitting out there for a 6th-round draft pick. Yeah, I would have gladly taken him to team up with Chandler Jones. It just I don't like the waiting game, and especially with it's just like I said with Green Bay. If they just got another receiver, I'd love Green Bay a lot more. So that's why I'm excited to see what the Bucks do when they're going to get some of these playmakers back with AB and Gronk. If Gronk ever comes back to 100%, that's also the problem. This is why the man retired. He's just so beat up and his back is shot, and again, his back is acting up on him again.
I'm not even sure if O.J. Howard's been having a factor in this offense or not, because I feel like he's been really quiet. It's been Cameron Brate who signed there 5 years. It's been a really long time since he's been there. Ever since he left the Giants, he ended up going to Tampa Bay. So it's been a very long time, to say the least. And let's also, let's talk about some AFC as well, because really between the Titans are 8-2. They have 2-game lead, and everyone else. So the Bills are 6-3, and the 7th seed is 5-3-1. Well, no, not 5-3-1. 5-4. I was looking at their next opponent for the Chargers. This is anyone's thing. I don't think there will be a lock in the playoffs, especially for seeding wise. I think we'll be seeing a lot of locks coming up like week 13 and 14, but seeding wise, I don't think it'll be a lock until like 17 and maybe 18 because these are very tight, races right now.
Yeah, the AFC is absolutely loaded. The Bengals are going to see if they can bounce back here this week. Browns are getting absolutely trampled. In the Patriots, dude. For me, I didn't think I would say this. A team that I'm gonna kind of have to buy is the Pats, dude. Defense is playing really good. Mac Jones is playing outrageously good football, taking care of the football, the important thing. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't love the team in the AFC. Like Kansas City's clearly a team that sticks out. Like, oh gosh, Kansas City like put on a show Sunday night. Yeah, the Raiders are also spiraling. So, it's very easy for Kansas City, everyone to fall back in love with KC. Again, very good football team. It's hard to pick against them because Mahomes and Kelsey and Hill, but they didn't get another receiver. They didn't get Odell. They didn't get another receiver to team up with Hill, which, again, you take Hill away. Again, tall task, but if you double Hill and, take your chances with Kelsey not burning you, they're very beatable offensively. They should get Clyde back very shortly, I'm assuming, in the next few weeks.
I believe he has a good chance to play against Dallas on Sunday. That's what I saw from
so he should be
a
back,
report.
Rather earlier than than I'm talking here. So Kansas City's definitely a team, but for a team that I have to like buy into right now, it's definitely the Pats. But I don't have a team that I'm like, I love them going into the playoffs because this could be a whole different playoff thing in the next few weeks. Like if Buffalo doesn't figure it out, I know they trampled the Jets, but if Buffalo doesn't like consistently show offensive like competence, Buffalo could slide right back into the wild card and the Pats say, hey, everybody, I took a year off. I'm back, baby. So like it's really interesting. The AFC is a really interesting factor here. Cleveland, if they ever figure it out, is a good football team. I don't know what it is with the Browns.
Yeah, really between the 2 seed and all the way down to where the Broncos are ranked 12th in the AFC, it's a game. It's one game. This is the tightest I've seen the AFC in a very long time. If the Broncos somehow figure it out, they're on the bye week right now, but if they somehow figure it out, they're going to save Fangio's job like tenfold if that's the case. The Browns are dealing with Baker Mayfield. He looks like the guy from SpongeBob where he's all casted up and he's just like every morning I break my arms and every afternoon I break my legs. I think it's the other way around, but that's what I look at when I see Baker Mayfield. He's walking around with injuries, but he's still coming out on the field every single week and playing. He has a very good heart. I mean, Carson Wentz has really rejuvenated the offense. They found, Taylor's love for football and just have ran off with it after starting 0-3. The Raiders are the Raiders. I mean, I think they were just going to end up falling apart anyway. The Bengals are still the surprise to me at 8, but if they can figure it out, I would not be surprised if they're playing in the middle of January wildcard weekend. I would not be surprised. But I don't know where I could go with the AFC at this point. It's too close right now. So that's kind of where I'm at with it for the moment.
Yeah, come back to me in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. See, because then it might figure itself out. Like a huge game this weekend, Steelers, Chargers, and ironically, Steelers are like 80,000 injuries.
CVS receipt, according to some of the Steelers people I follow. That's what they called the Steelers injury report this week.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. There's a lot on there, and it's interesting to say that last. But yeah, it's Kansas City is definitely the team you gotta have to buy. But I can't pick a team like Green Bay. Like I'm more confident in the NFC. Like there's better teams there where it's like, oh, all right, once they get a little bit healthier, I can buy them. AFC, like I love Buffalo, but like their offense is very worrisome. That's why I said they kind of needed a running back at the deadline, and they didn't go out and get one, which again, it's very easy said than done to go out and get a running back. But their offensive line is starting to struggle a little bit, a little banged up. So yeah, come back to me in 3 weeks. I'll give you a clear cut in the AFC.
Colton, what's your fantasy football thing that you texted me kind of later on Monday night about? I'm very interested to hear this. I didn't want to hear it at first, but I'm very interested to hear about it at this very moment. So what happened with? Hold on, I need the exact quote from you. Okay, let's see. When did I last text you? I text too many people here. Let's see. I'm going off. This is the conversation I would call. I'm going off on Fantasy Football Wednesday. What happened this time? I replay. Stupid old men running the league. So what stupid old man running the league has you all fired up at this very moment?
You know, I love my neighbors across the street. They're very nice people. John that runs the league. Oh, got me going.
I hope he's not
crazy.
watching right now, so he doesn't know he's a stupid old man.
I was just so pissed, dude, and I was going nuts in the chat. So, but yeah, it's oh my god. So it's gosh, what is it? 10-person league? I forget what it is. 12.
So a standard 10, 12.
Yeah, whatever. And it's in divisions, and I hate divisions because it's so stupid because you don't know. See, Allison Nolan. See, I'm glad someone loves my rants. But yeah, it's oh my god. So it's the top 3 teams in each division. And I kid you not, the one division has garbage teams. Like there's like 4-win teams. There's a team in there with 2 wins. And guess what? He has a better chance of making the playoffs than I do. I'm making the playoffs. My division's like 7-2, 6-3. They're like literally all above 500. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, so I asked, I'm like, hey, how's the league going? Is it top 6 teams? What are we looking at here? He goes, nah, it's top 3 from each division. I'm like, are you kidding me? So you're going to allow 3 of the worst teams in the freaking playoffs? I'm like, this is a money league, sir. Like, what are we doing? He goes, that's just the rules. You got to be better. I'm like, I would be better if I was in the crap division. I'd be kicking everyone's rear end. My team's like 20,000 better than theirs. Like, oh my! I'm like, you realize a guy with 2 wins has a better opportunity to make the playoffs than I do with 5. How does that make any sense? I'm like, look at you. They're like, yeah, you're 7th in points. Wonderful. I don't care. I don't care about points. It's about wins. It's about my record. And guess what? You want to say I'm 8th in points? If you look at total points, I'm like 10 behind the freaking 6th person. So shut up. It's so stupid. Dude, I cannot wait for them to ask next year, hey, you win? Nah, did you fix your league or you want me to run it? Because it's awfully ran. Oh, my gosh. This is what happens. A bunch of like 50-year-old men run a league, and holy crap, it's ridiculous.
When it used to be, you had to base everything off of newspapers and the fantasy stuff. Just
dude, and it's on a stupid app. It's not even like it's just so stupid. I had to download another app, and I can't even use it. Like I have to literally go out of my way to look at their bench. Like the thing doesn't work on my phone. It just like doesn't swipe up to see who the rest of their bench is. Like who? Like I literally. Oh my god, I'm just so aggravated because I have a good team. Will, dude, I got Diggs, Lockett, Keenan Allen. My quarterback is.
Sounds like a freaking like 6-man league. You already got those 3.
I have Saquon Barkley, Scordero Patterson. Like my team's loaded. I have a ton of good players. I didn't even get to Gallup, Renfro. Like my receivers are like 20,000 deep. Like I have legit receivers up and down my freaking board, and I have solid running backs. I have James Conner, Saquon Barkley, Booker. I have someone else too. That's a solid running back. That doesn't. I'm just like I'm so pissed. I'm like, so I have to win out to make the playoffs. Like I could do it, sure, but I'm like I have to win out where I can win a game or 2 and get some luck. No, I have to win out to make the playoffs because your league is garbage. And I have a good team. We're going to allow 3 garbage teams in. I was so pissed. And then they're trying to tell me, yeah, just you got to be better. It's all luck. It's not luck when you have an awful format. It's not luck when it's a bad format. And you're allowing garbage teams in a money league. What are you talking about? It's luck. Luck is injury, sir. Luck isn't getting put in a division and having a good record, but getting screwed because you're allowing 3 garbage teams in because you have divisions. And ironically, the guy that runs the league is in the garbage division. Shocker. Who would have thought? Wow. Go figure. Bro, run the league right. Oh, my gosh. All right, well.
I would show my fantasy league right now because there's a 6-way tie for first. I hold the tiebreaker off points, so I'm number 1. I would show you the standings right now, but my team name is not too PG friendly, so I will not show it. I will tell Colton what it is in the private chat that we got on here. I'm trying to pray that I can like win out right now, so let's hope I can do that here. I'll send you what my team name is. It's not PG friendly, but there it is. I'll give you it right there.
Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious.
That's a good name.
He's been great too, that guy. So
I know, 49th overall taken.
Yeah, I'm assuming you have him because of the name. So that's
oh yeah, it's been 3 years in the making on that one.
Wonderful. He's a good player. That Cooper Cup guy. But yeah, I'm glad you let me rant. It was very needed. I'm very aggravated, and it was something else. So
I'll let you rant a little bit more. Always, Colton rants are the best rants. And well, let's move into one of my favorite parts here: the buying and the selling and the holding. What are you buying into? Let's see. Let's get the meme up here. What stonks are you buying into? Because this is glorious, by the way.
oh my god.
What are you buying into for this week?
See, this is why you're the best guy to run this stuff, you funny guy. But nah, for me, I got to buy the Patriots as much as in the intro and all that. What are you doing, Bill? Yeah, Bill must be doing something right because here come the Pats. They're on the rise, and I'm clearly buying the Patriots. That's kind of where I'm gonna have to go, and it's very easy to go there.
I'm still gonna buy into the page. I want to buy into the Patriots as well, but I'm gonna obviously do another team. I want to buy into the Vikings a little bit more. They were on the road, very loud environment in SoFi Stadium. They go in, they beat the what's it called, the Chargers. You know what? I want to go a different way here. I'm going to buy into the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to say this hot take too. I said this on Ryan's show. You can watch it always Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern on all the U Stadium platforms. Cam Newton turns this team around and makes them a wild card team. Will clutch out a wild card seeding, no matter what, 5 through 7, doesn't matter. He'll turn the team around and make the wild card. I think he can do that. He's projected to start this Sunday against Washington, so revenge game for him against Ron Riverboat Riviera.
Riverboat Ron, baby.
Riverboat Ron. Ain't nobody stopping Ron. And they're down Chase Young rest of the year, torn ACL. Very unfortunate sight there. Am I a little too extreme there to say that I believe Carolina could do that?
No, I'm actually grabbing Cam Newton fantasy because if you look at it, Cam's never finished below 18 fantasy points a game average when he's played a full season. Clearly, he's not playing a full season, but I think he's going to be a guy that gets this offense going. He just brings a different vibe on the sideline. You saw Robbie Anderson yelling at Sam Darnold a few weeks back. Now you saw Robbie Anderson he
caught a touchdown. It was his first touchdown
since week one.
Week one, yeah, against this former team.
You saw him see a god this weekend. He was all smiling.
And they were hanging out the entire weekend too. They were just having a blast the entire time.
McCaffrey has his best game. It's just everything's back in Carolina. It's Brady shouldn't have left New England. It's Cam shouldn't have left the Panthers. So it's good to have him back. And my favorite part is I'm back and all the memes. I saw that this weekend and all the funny stuff. So I loved it. And Cam Newton's back, folks. Better go grabbing fantasy.
Hold on, I just found the video too because I actually like this one. Is the right one? Yeah, there we go. I'm not gonna play the audio because I don't want any copyright stuff, but he just look at Robbie. He looks so happy now that he has Cam, and Cam's just still dressed up as him. I'm pretty sure he didn't wear the same attire too. Look at this. How can you not be happy with this?
See, they're
happy.
I like Cam.
How can you not be happy with that?
Cam's in a special place in my heart. It sounds stupid. I love Cam Newton though. There's just something about Cam Newton. But yeah, I gotta buy the Patriots, and I can't disagree with you on buying the Panthers. I was gonna hold on the Panthers actually. That's where my hold was. That in Minnesota actually. So I'll slide into the hold for you. A little segue, but I'm holding Carolina and Minnesota because I can't figure out either team, to be honest with you.
Well, I can't figure out their Steelers. Okay, I mean, I understand. They were out a lot of people. I picked up Freiermuth in free agency because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to start Higbee. I'm going to start Freiermuth. I still won this week. That fumble really hurt me at the end of the game.
It hurt me too.
But I'll hold off on the Steelers a little bit, and I will hold off on Seattle. I think it was a fluke game. Russell Wilson's first game back got shut out by an above-average Packers defense. Packers are losing a lot of stuff right here. As we got a CD Lamb here in the comments.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we talked about this. I think Green Bay is the real threat in the NFC.
If Dallas gets it together, Dallas is right there.
Dallas is there. There's a lot of good teams. The NFC is a lot. If you put Dallas in the AFC, Dallas is the number one team in the AFC. It's just there's so many good teams in the NFC. I think the Bucks are going to be better once Antonio Brown comes back into the lineup, and same thing with Gronk if he ever comes back. And the Rams will figure it out once Odell figures out the playbook and all that stuff. But yeah, there's just a lot of really good teams in the NFC. I'm kind of excited for the playoffs because it's going to be absolutely loaded. But yeah,
I'm excited too. I can't wait for it.
Lamb, slide back up to the front. We talked more in depth about the NFC, but that's a little quick take there for you. So who are you holding? You said the Steelers.
I'm going to say Steelers and Seahawks. I'm going to stick with the letter S today. That's what I learned on Sesame Street. And who are we not? What are we taking out on the not songs? I am going to get a photo of you, and I want a bad photo because this is what makes it even funnier. Okay. If you like stock chat, I love talking stocks. Okay. I'm currently going to the moon as of right now with NVIDIA, but that's a different discussion for a different day.
I hate you. Oh, you couldn't help yourself. For me, teams I'm selling, the Cleveland Browns. I'm over that. You know,
you're not believe land anymore.
I'm not believe land. I do love Baker's heart, though, dude. Like he's just
Baker's all in there. He is.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah, CD Lamb. I can't agree with you, dude. You must enjoy your off season, though, CD. You must enjoy your off season. You know, you got time to hang out and chill. But yeah, playoffs are fun, and the Super Bowl is great. And then just after that, so it is a big.
Listen, that's why you take up watching hockey because hockey's fun. Hockey playoffs are the best, the greatest atmosphere ever. And also March Madness too. I have to admit, March Madness is the greatest thing to ever happen.
Sure. But yeah, I'm selling the Browns.
You're selling the Browns.
B-Wall, I see you hopping in here in the views. I appreciate you, dude, on Twitter. It's my guy. I met him this weekend in Pittsburgh, part of Steeler Nation. But who are you selling? Because we're selling the freaking Browns here, man.
I might honestly, I might sell off on the Ravens. It might sound a little like crazy. It might sound crazy.
Yeah, Ryan, you listening, man? I don't know if you're listening.
I don't know if Ryan's listening, but he might have to crop something after. But I'm gonna just sell off. I want to sell off kind of a little bit on the Ravens.
Wow.
It might sound a little extreme, but the Ravens were really exposed. I mean, Tua had a good game. I'm not impressed by the defense at all. The defense just looks abysmal. I mean, it has been because they lost 7 of 11 starters on defense. Something ridiculous like that.
Oh yeah, they lost a few guys.
They lost, their starting corners. They've ended up they lost too many people on that defense, and it's unfortunate. I mean, the Dolphins blitzed the ever so hell out of Lamar, 92%. As we got CD in here, he's selling the Bungles. I mean, I might sell off on the Bengals, but I might put them in a hold as of right now. I want to wait off and see what they're doing right there. I'll sell off a little bit of the Ravens. Let's see what they could do a little bit more of in the coming weeks. Because they still have to play 5, and I went over this last week. They still have to play 5 AFC North matchups. And that's difficult after you lose to the Dolphins, which should have just been a guaranteed right-off win. That's going to put you in a very difficult spot right now for the playoffs, I have to say on that one.
Yeah, they get Pittsburgh twice still, so that should be interesting.
And they still have to get Cleveland twice.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so the Bengals, they might be on the outlooking in. At some point they might be on the outlooking in. And also another team I'm going to sell off on the Broncos. Okay, if you've not heard the rant already, they've screwed me out of $2,000 because they're a stupid organization. Because the Oakland Raiders, who at the time were the Oakland Raiders, got a 2-point conversion. I believe it was to Darren Waller, Week 17 of 2019. So again, I'm going to sell off on the Broncos. I don't have anything. I'm going to just keep on pushing off imaginary stocks. I'm done with Denver. I am done with Denver. Okay. I didn't pick them this week. I picked the Eagles because I will never pick Denver again. Ever. Even if it's the most favorable matchup, I will never pick Denver. So I'll still always continually pick against Denver. Okay.
My buddy always sees our picks and he's an Eagles fan. He goes, "You didn't pick the Eagles again." I'm like, dude, the Eagles are a weird team. I'm like, don't hate me. It's not that I hate Philly. It's just I don't know what to do with Philly. I really don't. Just I don't know what to do with Denver.
There. You don't know if they're going to go for a quarterback. They're going to go for a defensive back. They're going to have, at some point in the next couple weeks, 3 weeks, they'll have a third first-round pick from Carson Wentz. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with their draft. If they're going to be trading back, just acquiring all these selections. And let's get to our famous fantasy predictions because, fantasy predictions. Predictions for Week 11. As Colton, where are they as usual? Bam! There they are, right there. Colton took Not a little bit of a slide, but he's catching back up. It's only 2 off as of right now. I may have messed up the picks, but I can always recheck them later
I thought I
on.
lost by 1. I thought maybe not.
I might have to recount them. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I went back at because I remember I commented on our picture this from the graphic that we posted.
You can follow
every
us.
Sunday.
Oh, also,
Yes.
yeah, you can follow us on.
us.
Yes. They're posted Saturday night, roughly about 7 or 8 Eastern. So if you want to look at who we're picking every week on a visual standard, because listening's too hard, just like me, there they are. They're going to be always on our Instagram page, the Play Extra Podcast, and also on Facebook, Play Extra Podcast. As let me get set up all over in here so I can find my mouse. Let's see. Thursday Night Football, New England at Atlanta.
Yeah, you can give me the team that's one of the hottest in football. So.
The Tom Brady second coming, and I will match you with Tom Brady's second coming. Detroit at Cleveland.
I'm gonna take the Browns. They're not gonna tie. Yeah.
If they tie, what do they end up? What do they do? What's your thought process behind there?
I don't want any more ties. I don't want any more ties. But yeah,
I'm kind of mad at Najee Harris. He didn't know that games ended in ties. I call a bunch of malarkey on that. I really do.
Najee's the funniest man. Steeler Nation.
All I think of is Donovan McNabb. I didn't know games could end in ties.
Najee's definitely one of the funniest guys out there. I love Najee. Protect him at all costs. And there was someone on the Raiders too or on the Lions that didn't know they can end in ties. So it's kind of funny. He goes, I thought it was geared up for another quarter. And someone goes, it's over. He goes, what? Bro, I love Najee Harris. He's literally one of the funniest guys. So who are you picking in that game? I'm assuming you're
I'm going to be smart here. I'm going to take Cleveland. Okay. Jared Goff, oblique injury. I don't even know where the oblique is located on the body.
I think it's like in the stomach, I think, isn't it?
Dr. Colton here is going to be showing us it's going to be, across the torso. Kind of there.
I think it's like in the stomach, on the side, something like down there. I don't know, honestly, but that's just a guess.
Let's see. Indianapolis at Buffalo.
See, this is where we get interesting. I'm going to take Buffalo because where's this game at?
This game is in Bills Mafia territory.
Yeah,
it's going to be cold. I think it might be snowing. I'm not too sure.
See, I'm going to have to ride with Goat Allen and those Bills. But, man, I could see Jonathan Taylor going bonkers this weekend.
As of right now, it's 60 and rainy. It's going to be about 45 at kickoff, but rainy as well.
Yeah, it was like it was this past weekend in Pittsburgh. So,
but I'm going to take Buffalo as well. I'm not sure if I told you that. Let's see. Baltimore at Chicago. Last time these two played in Chicago, a tornado touchdown, and a 1:00 game didn't end until about 8:00 at night.
This is interesting. Like the easy person would think Baltimore, but man, Fields and them are playing better. Fields especially is playing a lot better. Man, I'm going to take the Ravens. They got embarrassed Thursday night, and I think it's like they're going to come out and be really angry. So good luck, Chicago. But my goodness, they got Montgomery back.
They're kind of clicking a lot more. They were on the bye week last week, so obviously they were hopefully practicing and trying to figure out a lot more of everything going on for them.
If you saw me on like a spread, what the spread is on this game, like I would take possibly.
I would tell you the spread, but I'm not allowed to look at those.
You can't even look at numbers?
Not allowed to look at any numbers. Can't look at a sports book.
No, I'm saying like you can look at it on.
Oh, ESPN. I could go like ESPN and do that. Yeah, that's true. I can always do that.
I was like, what?
What?
Shield. Can't see it. But no, I'm going to take the Ravens because they just got embarrassed Thursday night. But man, I really feel weird not taking Chicago. Like if Chicago wins, I'm going to be like, damn
4.5 Ravens favor.
Oh.
The over-under is 45.
I would probably take the Ravens on that number. If it was like 6.5, I would probably take Chicago. With that number, I'd take Baltimore. So, yeah, you can give me the Ravens. It's really interesting, though. I definitely feel weird about this one. Like, if Chicago wins, I could definitely feel like myself saying, yep, messed up. Should have stuck with the gut.
I'm going to match you. I'm going to take Baltimore. But after you talking about a little bit of the Bears, I kind of wanted to take the Bears. But I want to secure my lead. I want to hit 100 before you do this year. Because this will be a first.
You're going to do that. And, yeah.
Unless I just tank all of a sudden. The tankathon.
That'd be wonderful. But, yeah. You might get me this year.
I might. Who knows? There's still a lot of football left. There's another week, actually. Let's see. Houston at Tennessee. This is one of the more, I don't know. I think this matchup's not going to be talked about a lot, but it's going to be really close because it's always
No,
close between the
no,
Texans and it's
stop
close
it.
with the Titans.
Stop it. You
Look
know
at it.
where
Look
you're
at
going
last
with
year.
this.
Okay.
You know where you're
Derrick
going.
Henry
The
rushed like what
sweep-
98 yards down the field or whatever in overtime.
sweep,
And then
sweep,
AJ Brown caught that deep pass to secure the Titans the division late
sweep.
last year.
You know where this is going.
I know
Stop
where
it.
this is going. Okay, I just like to add a little bit of fun to this.
See,
I know where this is
sweep,
going.
sweep.
I'm
You know where this
okay.
is going.
Just sweep. Okay, there we go. Under the rug. Green Bay at Minnesota.
See, this is an interesting one. I'm gonna take Green Bay. Rodgers back another week, and he's just gonna be mean to Minnesota. In Minnesota, like they played great. It's like, oh yeah, here we go. Buy the
Oh,
Minnesota
he'll
stock.
tell Minnesota too. He'll rush for the touchdown and say, "I still own you."
Yeah,
Start discount double checking all over the place.
yeah. He's just it's just like
He's a funny guy. I gotta say, he's really funny.
Rodgers is a
I'm
funny
taking your
cat.
catchphrases.
He's an interesting guy, but yeah, Minnesota's like a bunch of phonies. Like they won last week in a tough game, and it's like, holy crap, they could beat Green Bay, and then Green Bay is gonna like stomp them out. Kirk Cousins plays bad, and it's like, what the heck are the Vikings? Like
The
that's
first game they always play, if you go back to when they tied, I think that was 2019 is when they first tied. It was a very tight game. And then also week 1 last year, they played opening weekend. And it was like the highest scoring game of the year, I want to say. It was like 45-41, something ridiculous like that. I think this game's going to be very close as well. I don't see them.
I have parties in both, so I have Jefferson and I have AA Ron, so I would totally be okay if this gets wild.
Let's see. Game of the week, Miami at New York Jets.
I hate you. I'll take the Jets. I meant Dolphins.
I'm taking Joe Flacco, baby. You know what? You want to hear something funny?
What do you got?
So Joe Flacco is, I believe, 7-1 against the Miami Dolphins. His only loss came last year, but that was when the Jets were bad. Okay, they're going places this year. Okay, 11th overall in the draft. I'm going to say that right now.
Well,
Take it, Joe Flacco. Take it, Joe Cool. Okay, elite Joe Flacco. He's going to win it all. 330, 3 touchdowns. I'll give a benefit of the doubt. Xavier Howard picks off like Corey Davis when he's covering them. Joe Flacco, man, he's going to be the star of the week.
I'll take
NFL Red Zone. The NFL Red Zone star of the week, Joe Flacco.
I'll take 89 to 91 and 6.
So when are you going to turn off the Xbox after that high ass score?
Oh gosh, yeah, I will gladly take. Yeah, you can give me the Dolphins. I did say the Dolphins are going to find themselves back in the mix.
They have to win out though. They really have
they
to win
don't,
out.
Though. What are they now? What do they have?
3-7. They got to win out. If they want to make the playoffs, I feel like they really need to win out.
Yeah, they need a little bit of help, sure, but a lot of it's going to figure itself out. In the AFC, the Chargers play this weekend, so those are playoff teams. One of them is probably going to be out of the playoffs. Whoever loses, but yeah, Dolphins are going to find that like the Dolphins' next few games are very, very winnable games. So I kind of said it. Am I going to like put money on it? Like Dolphins somehow make it interesting? No, but they very well could. So yeah, you're going to give me the Dolphins and. Thanks for the win, pal.
Last time you said that, I mean, the Steelers kind of blew it on a Monday night game against the football team. Alex Smith, man. I'll be taking that. Every time you say thanks for the win, I think that it always ends up going my direction. We might have to get a count on that.
Get on.
Let's see. New Orleans at Philadelphia.
I'm tired of not taking the Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles. I'm just going to leave it at that. Mike, you happy now? I'm going to take the Eagles.
Can you hear me now? I'm going to take the Eagles as well. Listen.
How about that? Dang it! I wanted you to take the Saints. It's like one of those.
Listen, the Saints haven't been that impressive to me. They do get Kamara back, but last time they played in Philly, I mean, the Eagles kind of trounced them. So,
alrighty.
Who knows? We've seen weirder in the league. We have. Washington at Carolina. Could I feel this game? If you talked about it 4 weeks ago, I don't think there would have been a sweep on this one, but now there's a definitive sweep of what's going to happen here.
This is what happens when Cam Newton comes into town, folks. Yep, you can fill me in.
I'm back. All I think of was what's his face? Kyle's cousin from South Park. I'm back. Something stupid like that.
See, I got to get more into South Park. Like, I love videos of South Park. I just I've never fully watched it.
It's not a thing that you watch the entire season of, like a seasons of. It's just like you watch a couple of them, you kind of get immersed in it, and then you kind of go through it with that. They do have a movie coming
I
out.
watched the Mickey Mouse episodes with Mickey Mouse and
Season
those
25.
episodes, whatever those I don't know. Whatever the episodes that had Mickey Mouse in it, those were the episodes I watched.
I mean, they had it
You
the
know.
season before COVID, and then they had the season for COVID, and they were hysterical the
Yeah, I
entire
watched,
time.
I think 1 or 2 from the COVID episode. So I gotta watch it. The problem is, Will, I'm just so
You're a man of
sports.
sports. I understand that.
I just don't have time to like binge watch like South Park or like honestly, I love Family Guy. I couldn't say the last time I watched Family Guy, dude. Like it's
Family Guy is just terrible now.
Oh, see, you might have on to the next. What do we got?
San Fran at Jacksonville. They gave no, this game's not a 4:00 game. It's a 1:00 game.
Yeah, you can give me San Fran, sir.
And I will match it with San Fran as well. Jimmy G is going to be laying it up, guaranteed on Sunday. Cincinnati at Las Vegas. 2 AFC teams are in desperate needs to keep playoff hopes alive.
One more time. I was reading something.
Cincinnati at Las Vegas.
But yeah, you can give me the Bengals. As much as I want them to lose, AFC North-wise, they're going to win, sadly, because the Raiders are
Deshaun Jackson fumbling away the ball.
Down the toilet bowl they go. Yeah, you can give me the Bengals coming off of a bye.
I'll match you with the Bengals as well. This is a very interesting one. Dallas at Kansas City.
Cowboys.
Okay. I'm matching with Dallas as well because that's what I had. I thought you would sweep and go to Kansas City on that one.
Stop bothering me, Will.
Here's the real game of the week here. Arizona at Seattle. This matchup's been the last since Carson Palmer became a Cardinal. This is when this matchup has been like interesting every single time.
You go
always in Seattle too, by the way.
I want you to go first. I want you to go first on this
I'm
one.
taking the Cardinals on this one.
I'm going to take Seattle on this one.
You see, I was feeling Seattle on this because I don't think Seattle could lose back-to-back in a row. First time Russell Wilson's been shut out in his entire career. It's not a game. Listen, Seattle's offense is too good. If somehow the Seattle defense could kind of contain Kyler or maybe contain whoever's going to be the weapons for Colt McCoy, that will be, the definitive point there. But I'm going to be I'll take Arizona on my end.
Lose. Like you lose with Denver, I lose with Seattle. So you might end up like, even if Colt McCoy plays, you might even get this one because I have awful luck with Seattle.
Questionable Sunday Night Football matchup. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the LA Chargers.
I got to take the Chargers. Yeah, I do want to take the Steelers. It's painful not to, but man, there's so many questions. Like that's why I hate with our show being Wednesday. If you were to ask me maybe like Saturday, I might change differently once I see the injury report, how people are practicing. Claypool was back in action today. He was limited. TJ did some work on the side, but he was technically a DNP. The offensive line's got a bunch of DNPs at the guards. They lost Dotson and Turner. So it's like, dude, it's just made for the Chargers. And it sounds like they're going to get Joey Bosa back. So it's like, you lucky sons of bitches. So, yeah, I gotta take the Chargers. I'm not going to be stupid and take the Steelers with everything the Steelers are going to be going through. Possibly with Ben just coming back like Saturday. So, I mean, I trust Ben more than Mason, but it's not made for the Steelers, and it's just very unfortunate.
I'm going to match you with the Chargers as well because I need Justin Herbert to light up Sunday Night Football for me to keep my playoff hopes alive in 2
He's
leagues.
played like bad. I know, like the guys in the group were like, "Oh, dude, this is one of the tougher quarterbacks who are playing the rest of the season." I'm like, he's been bad. Like he hasn't been good. Like he struggled the past few weeks. I'm not too sure why either. He struggled. Like I don't know what it is.
And Monday Night Football, the New York Giants at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
This is a matchup I love to predict closer, but, we got to go based off of the news we know right now.
Yeah, I'm going to take Tampa Bay. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I think they win. I just don't like the Giants played them tough last time they played them last year. Should have won. I don't see the Bucs losing. Like, I think this is a must win. Like I'm taking the Bucs on the spread, just like I am the Ravens. Like this is like Bears. They're going to win this week. That's kind of how I feel.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay as well, but I honestly think the Giants wide receivers could have a day against a secondary that's kind of returning back to its like week 1 form. They're still without Richard Sherman. He's just been placed on IR. But I think this is going to be a very good Monday Night Football matchup. Is this a Manning cast? Do we know if this is one? Or is that kind of like the same day we figure out if it's a Manning cast?
No, I think it's a Manning cast. You can look it up and find out. I believe they're on this week.
Well, they weren't on for the Pittsburgh game. I
That's
don't blame
all right.
them for not doing that.
That's all right. I mean, I wasn't watching. Like, I don't like the Manning cast, to be honest with you. Like, my buddy's like obsessed with it. He goes, "Oh, dude, we're watching." And me and my other buddy are there watching. I'm like, this is awful. Like, this is like, it's just like having bar talk on television. I'm like, no. I need like some like rhythm and like someone controlling the game here at the helm. Like, it sounds stupid because I know what's going on, but like, no, not at, like it sounds stupid. I wish I had like 2 TVs and like the Manning cast maybe just a little bit higher than the other one, so I can hear. But like, no, just doesn't do it for me. I can't.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, rounds out our show. Thank you all for tuning in. You can follow us over on the Play Action Podcast on Instagram, Play Action Podcast over on Facebook, Play Action Pod 1 over on Twitter. We're getting Twitter a little bit more love and support past a couple days. And also, you can find us on YouTube after this episode. We always put them on our YouTube page. So if you want to watch them again without the comments or whatever, I don't know, same old rants, same old Will and Colton here, always. But ladies and gentlemen, that's Colton, and I'm Will, and that is the Play Action Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys next week, 5 p.m. Eastern, as always, on Wednesdays.